Laura's mix-up game in Street Fighter V Arcade Edition is stronger than it has ever been thanks to the buffs given to her first V-Trigger, Spark Show. Here I'll be going over some of the options available after one of Laura's best new mix-up setups. Standing Heavy Punch, EX Thunderclap, Standing Heavy Punch, EX Thunderclap. It's pretty basic and it eats up most of your meter, but this is the start to some of Laura's new greatest mix-up potential. I would go so far as to say that if you are using Spark Show as your V-Trigger with Laura, you should almost never be using her critical art as her new resets offer so much more damage potential. The start of this mix-up is when you execute the second EX Thunderclap. It is at this point that you essentially are left with one of three options: staying in close and in neutral, canceling into Avante to cross under the opponent, or canceling into Escriva to deceive your opponent and create some space. For the most part, you will probably be using Avante to cross under, leaving your opponent guessing what you will do next after a mid-air reset. Sweeping your opponent here will leave them grounded, giving you guaranteed advantage on their next wake-up. If your opponent does not quick stand, a medium punch Thunderclap while they are grounded is a fantastic way to put on immediate pressure. One of the strongest and most confusing options to use is a double cross under. After your first Avante movement, hitting the opponent while they are in midair gives you the opportunity to cancel into a second Avante, leaving you back on the side you started on and your opponent guessing yet again. It's also possible to do a fake cross under by delaying the second standing heavy punch of the first combo by just a few frames. This leaves the opponent lower in the air after the reset, meaning Laura does not have the room to actually cross under. Following this up with a forward throw has the potential to leave your opponent still in danger of being hit with the EX Thunderclap. But using a back throw is actually much more useful in this situation. Let's say your opponent tries to wake up with something like a DP. The EX Fireball is too close for them to try to mount any meterless offense on wake up. This back throw setup is especially effective versus larger characters like Alex or Abigail, since their massive size means they will already be forced to block or attempt some sort of reversal using meter on wake up. One of my favorite options in this mix-up situation is resetting using a standing light kick, forcing your opponent into an immediate high-low mix-up guessing game. When timed correctly, if you cancel the standing light kick into Volti line, the overhead will hit meaty and regularly leave your opponent at -6. If the entire sequence that started with the first standing heavy punch has worked, this leads to a linked crouching medium punch bolt, and a guaranteed stun on anyone with less than 1000 stun. If you can start this sequence with a cross-up jumping medium kick, that's a stun on everyone but Abigail. The one major downside to this mix-up setup is the massive amount of resources that it requires. Not only are 2 EX moves used during the setup, but you will also be getting rid of half of Laura's V-Trigger if you are canceling into Avante or Escriva during the initial part of the sequence. If everything works out though, the damage and stun potential are massive, and we all already know that Laura is one of the best characters in the game when it comes to getting damage after a stun. Laura's speed and mobility are more apparent than ever now, so learning how to both use and fight against her new mix-up potential will be vital in high-level play. Thanks for watching. This has been Scan at GLHF TV.